Hello peeps, welcome to this week's Salute House episode, and we have two segments requested by this time, 2 users on each segment, and these two franchises are gonna fucking kick ass. Hello BellHill Mayor, it's good to see you in this week's Salute House episode. Hello Mason, I'm glad to be here with you. So what segment do you have for us to salute on? What we are about to salute on is the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. Yeah, this is the best choice that you have ever requested on this series. Yup, definitely on the top 5, or top 10 of whatever best requests that you accepted. We can only hope BHM. Okay then. The Super Smash Bros. Franchise is a crossover fighting game series published by Nintendo and primarily features characters from various Nintendo franchises. I see that, even that this crossover series is inspired by Marvel vs. fucking Capcom. The Super Smash Bros. Franchise started with the Nintendo 64 release back in January 21st, 1999. 1 year after Marvel vs. Capcom released in arcade, the series featured the characters from Super Mario, Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Yoshi, Star Fox, and of course, Pokemon. If you play the Melee version of it, there's more characters, even the new franchise that appeared in Melee, which is Fire Emblem, and the Game & Watch series. Ever since the Brawl came out on Wii, we have characters from other franchises that aren't Nintendo related, that is Sonic the Hedgehog, Metal Gear, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Pac-Man, Castlevania, the King of Fighters, etc. Don't you mean the king of fuckers? Do it now? Just kidding, pal.
Ugh, Samus, can we change the channel? Because this episode is making me upset.
You shut the fuck up, Mai. Just because you aren't the part of the Super Smash Bros. Community doesn't mean you can be jealous about it.
Well, it's not even my fault that because one of the lewdest related characters from the King of fucking Fighters.
Well, in the gameplay, the Smash fighting games are different when you think of this and any other fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom, or Capcom vs. SNK and so on. Instead of winning by depleting an opponent's life bar, players seek to launch their opponents off the stage and out of bounds. Characters have a damage total which rises as they take damage, represented by a percentage value that measures up to 999%. Yup. So approximately 90 or 150% of damage can make you lose your life in a matter of seconds, don't you think? It actually depends on how much damage that you can take in this game. They even have some useful objects to whack your characters with, such as the home run bat, beam sword, bob OMBS, Koopa shells, ray guns, super scopes, etc. The one thing that we can't forget about is the fucking ball smash, that is the final smash that can beat the shit out of your ass that easy with it. Just doing hyper combo finishing moves in Marvel vs. Capcom and Capcom vs. SNK and Dragon Ball Z games and other fighting games that has something to do with combo finishing moves. So those features are so excellent, the graphics just kept getting better and better than ever, music soundtracks, even the heavy metal tracks are enjoyable, it's fun and addicting. I know, right? There's not that much of any flawless moments that can get the games from messing it up. Especially if the characters ended up in DLC. Everything about the franchise is perfect, and it's all thanks to Masahiro Sakurai and Shigeru Miyamoto.
I'm glad to see Mega Man in this series.
But no thanks to them for cutting me off of the Super Smash Bros. Community.
And Mai Shiranui, you better shut the fuck up because I'm throwing you out for the rest of the fucking episode. Alright peeps, here is Lord03. How are y'all doing? Thanks for having me, Mason. No problem, Lord Red. So what segment do we have for this week? What we have is Robot Chicken. Ah yes, Robot Chicken, one of the best sketch comedy shows I have ever watched on Adult Swim. Exactly right, the show got you inspired by, well, don't forget about the whitest kids you know, the kids in the hall, Chappelle's Show and so on. True that. This show was also known as Sweet J Presents back in 2001. The show wasn't aired on TV until 4 years later in 2005. This show is created by Seth Green and Matthews and Riken based in Toy Fair. Well, Lord Red, what is this show about? Well, Mason, Seth and Matthew created the off-the-wall comedy hit, which is a series of pop culture parodies using stop-motion animation of toys, dolls, and action figures. The title character was an ordinary chicken until he was run down by a car and subsequently brought back to life in cyborg form by a mad scientist Fritz Hunmurder. Well, holy fucking shit, what the hell happened next? Fritz Hunmurder tortures the robot chicken by forcing him to watch a random selection of TV shows. Wow! Especially if it has something to do with anything against his own will, which is screwed the hell up. Exactly. The sketches that make up the body of each episode, the show often features special episodes built around a single theme, including Star Wars and DC Comics. So the show even includes characters from other franchises such as Thundercats, He-Man, Muppets, She-Ra, Star Wars, Scooby-Doo, Garfield, Popeye, Flintstones, Strawberry Shortcake, Marvel Comics, Transformers, G.I. Joe, etc. Yeah, you've done the same thing, but with Doraemon, Mega Man, Darkstalkers, and various characters from various franchises, right? Yup, it's also like watching the 3D animation version of The Whitest Kids You Know. But it's a shame that Trevor Moore died 2 months ago. Yeah, it's such a damn shame. So what we found on Google after asking Google questions about the show is that the animators have to do the shots frame by frame from the beginning to the end. It takes them approximately 6 months to shoot the whole season of 20 episodes. Sounds like a hard-ass work to finish, don't you think? I bet the Robot Chicken staff got permission from other companies before starting to put characters from other franchises. And there are characters that Seth and Matthew created themselves, such as Robot Chicken, Fritz Hunmurder, Cluckerella, Tony Rocky Horror. Oops, I meant Tony Hunmurder Anderson. Okay, there's more characters that Seth and Matthew made. Right, they got us the nerd. No, not that fucking nerd. This nerd that we're talking about. We also have Arthur Kensington Jr. Unicorn, Molar, Composite Santa Claus. The humping robot. There's also Little Drummer Boy, Bitch Pudding, Gyro Robo, Gary the Stormtrooper, Aliens, and the bloopers host. Well, that show was so funny and enjoyable that this is worthy to binge these episodes until we reach the end. Way to bring back memories to laugh at one of our most favorite moments that they won't forget. Indeed to that, Lord Red, so let's wrap this up.
Well, Mason, what is your conclusion of these 2 segments that you saluted on?
The Super Smash Bros. Franchise is one of the most memorable franchise I have ever heard of ever since I was a kid with this Melee release on the GameCube, and Robot Chicken is one of the most funniest sketch comedy shows I have ever watched. And I want to thank BellHill Mayor and Lorded03 for requesting them. You're most welcome, Mason. We're glad that you accepted them. And I'd like to thank you and Mai for appearing in this show, even though that Mai has a jealous attitude right now. So where's Mai now, Samus?
Oh, Mai ran outside of your studio and crying like a bitch over not being in the Super Smash Bros. Community.
Even though that I felt bad for Mai, she'll get over it.
Indeed on that, man.
I'm glad that we had this episode covered up. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna head down to Whataburger to get a triple bacon cheeseburger to celebrate.
Mason Velez, if I ever see you again, I'm gonna kick your fucking plotagon ass so hard that you'll be shitting out of your mouth.
Did you hear what Mai said about Mason? She's threatening to beat him up.
Mai's threatening to find and give Mason a falsified beating. This is a bad case.
If Mai even dares lay a finger on Mason, we're gonna do something that she will regret.
Mai Shiranui, you are so screwed. We gotta find and warn Mason before it's too late.